Man. Today is Tuesday the 17th of September 2013, and this is a look at videos supposedly showing a second sun or Nibiru next to the sun. There are a lot of these videos around and I'm often asked to take a look at them and to give my opinion. Here is one of the latest offerings. This one is called 100% Proof of Nibiru, shot from my camera by Chris Vaughan. Let's just have a quick look at the first few seconds of Chris's video.
I just got to get it again. You would think it was a reflection off a cloud or something like that, but it's not, because the clouds are moving pretty swiftly, and that is staying still.
Okay, so you heard Chris say that this is a second sun or Nibiru because it doesn't move around when he moves his camera. It stays still relative to the position of the sun. There are a lot of these videos around, and there is a very simple test which will show very quickly whether these second sun objects are real or not. And I'm going to show you a quick selection of the best videos that I've seen so far. So here is the first one. This is a video by tatooinetrooper, and it was uploaded on the 30th of April 2011, so it's been around for a little while. Now, tatooinetrooper had originally filmed one of these videos himself and was convinced that he had filmed the second sun or Nibiru or whatever. And somebody had suggested this test to him, and to his credit he went out and gave it a try, and he shows us the results.
Okay, this is a test that I was given by Goose Father. Thank you, mate. I'm just about to do it. I must admit I already have done it, and yeah, so here we go. He says basically block out the sun with your finger, and if it's lens flare, that dot there, which will always stay there, will disappear. You watch what happens when I do that. Here we come. Boom. The dot disappears. So, yeah, you was right. And if I go to the other side, see the dot there? Watch this. Fuck me. It appears on my finger. So, yeah, it is actually lens flare. But no matter how I turn the phone, it will stay with it. So thanks, guys. Thanks for that. As I said before, I don't claim to know what it is. I don't know the inner workings of a mobile phone and the lenses and all the rest of it. Give me a motorbike engine and I'll strip the...
Okay, so there's a very good demonstration of how to check this, and I think tatooinetrooper has demonstrated that very well. Now, he also mentioned about the internal workings of a phone camera, and we're going to have a look at that in one of these later videos. But first, let's go to the next one. This is the video Nibiru Debunked by Dan Dare Jump 94, and let's have a listen to what he has to say. In this video, a simple experiment to show that Nibiru second sun is in fact not real. In the following video, you'll see three things: the sun, a lens flare, and the supposed Nibiru second sun. Now, the lens flare is almost automatically noticeable as it jolts about in the video, and the so-called Nibiru stays at the side of the sun. Now watch as I debunk this popular strand of videos that claim to be Nibiru caught on camera. And here we see a real lens flare marked out and the supposed Nibiru object next to the sun. And we can see that the lens flare does move around, but the Nibiru object remains static. Now see what happens when he puts his finger in front. We can see the Nibiru object as well as the lens flare, and when he blocks out the sun, the Nibiru object and of course the lens flare disappear altogether. Now, this next video is called Two Suns in Spokane, Nibiru Isn't Moving, and this one is by Znobyrd. Now, this one is interesting because he starts off by filming it from inside his house through two panes of glass, possibly through double glazing. Let's hear what he has to say.
See that? Moving around anywhere I want. The second sun stays stationary because I'm shooting through two panes of glass. Now, without any further ado, let's just walk outside. Now we're outside. We are away from the panes of glass. Now we don't have two panes of glass and we've got one sun. Amazing how things work.
Okay, so that was a very good demonstration, and he touched on one of the causes, or the main cause, of these second sun images, and we're going to take a look at that a little bit further in the next video. This is the video Two Suns Demystified Forever in HD by LCARS43278, and he's done a very good demonstration here of what causes these second sun images by setting up two cameras side by side and recording them simultaneously. Let's hear what he has to say.
Hopefully the camera will pick this up. But now, as you see, I've got my polarizing filter, and on top of it is the UV filter. And as I rotate this filter around the polarizer, you can see that the filter on the front of it is now offset. It's a little skewed. It's not perfectly perpendicular, which means it's going to generate an offset internal reflection, and that's going to cause our two-sun effect. And we're going to see that happening on our camera as we get back to the sun. Now all of a sudden, what you notice is that there is another little sun there. Fancy that, eh? Now watch. As I rotate my filter around, let's see if I can get this on shot here. Okay. I'll rotate this filter around, and that will follow the rotation of the filter. It's fucking amazing, eh? Just like I said it would. It'll go wherever you want it to go. There. See? There's that second sun, and it's doing whatever I want it to do. Now watch this. I can move this camera. Oh, it looks like I just ran out of recording time on that. Well, that sucks.
Now, just while he's sorting out his camera, we can take a look at this image he's provided, which explains quite well what's actually going on with these internal lens reflections. Now, here we have a pane of glass. It could even just be a single pane where you get internal reflections within the layer. So you have the bright light source, the sun, and you've got your primary rays of light coming through and being refracted slightly. You also have a reflection from within the pane of glass where the primary light source is actually reflected back. Remember that this is at an angle, so it's reflected back to this surface, and then it's bounced forward again, and then you have these secondary reflections which are dimmer and offset. The primary image stays bright, so you see your main sun, and then you get a secondary image which is dimmer.
Let's see if I can get it back. For some reason the camera only allows you a certain amount of time to record, even though there's lots of memory chip time left. Okay. Back to recording again. Okay, hopefully that'll go for a little while. Okay, now you can see, because I haven't moved the filter, if I just move the camera, that second image, it follows it. You can see that I can move the camera and the lens flares move, but that little image doesn't. And now I can move my camera up and down as well, and it does not move. It stays in proportion to the light source that's causing it. So now, if I go like this, and move that filter, give it a rotation and change the offset, that sun will move all over the screen. So now if I want it in the upper right corner, I just do that, and now your second sun is in the upper right corner. It's really, really not that hard to do. Anything like shooting through two-pane window glass will do this. Okay, so when you see these videos that have this going on, really that's all you're seeing. You're seeing that secondary reflection. A lot of cameras have internal filters that kick in when it's bright light, internal neutral density filters, and they're basically a flat piece of glass. And if they're even slightly off of that perfect optical axis, they will create that secondary reflection of light inside them. And see, if I take the filter off completely while my other camera's still recording, that image completely goes away.
So there we have it, a very good demonstration of what causes these second sun images, internal lens reflections caused by the reflection of the bright sunlight. So there really can be no excuse for uploading more of these videos showing a second sun. If you're going to upload videos like this, you really need to do this finger test. Place your finger between the sun and the camera and see if the object disappears. Also place your finger between the second sun and the camera and see if the second sun image actually superimposes over the top of your finger. Obviously if it does, as we see coming up right here, then obviously this can't be a real object. It is clearly an internal lens reflection. Now, after seeing all these video clips, if you're still not sure when you see one of these YouTube videos and you think that maybe it really is a second sun next to the sun, there's one more test that you can do to be sure. Move away from the computer, go outside and have a look. because we're all looking at the same sun. It's 150 million kilometers away, or about 93 million miles, and we're all looking at the same sun. It doesn't matter where you are on the Earth. If there was a second sun or some big object next to the sun that could be seen from anywhere else on the Earth, then we would all be able to see it. So finally, here's a clip from one of my own videos. I recommend one more thing that you can do, and that is to go out and buy a welding lens for about $2 from the hardware store and give this a try. This is a number 12 welding lens I'm using here, and as you can see, when I bring it into the picture, the sun's disk is a lot smaller than it appears when we're looking through all of the glare. I'm in New Zealand, which is in the southern hemisphere, and I can see all the way below the ecliptic right down to the south celestial pole. And as you can see, I can't see any Nibiru or Planet X or second sun. In fact, all I can see is the sun. As always, do check out my Facebook discussion page, Voices of Reason to Explain X or VORTEX. I'll put a link for you in the description area. Also, please check out the videos that I included in this video. I'll put a link to those videos in the description area, and you might like to subscribe to their channels. Thank you for watching. Hello YouTube, this is Dazza the Cameraman. Today is Tuesday the 17th of September 2013. And this is a look at videos supposedly showing a second sun or Nibiru next to the sun. There are a lot of these videos around, and I'm often asked to take a look at them and to give my opinion. Here is one of the latest offerings. This one is called 100% Proof of Nibiru, shot from my camera by Chris Vaughan. Let's just have a quick look at the first few seconds of Chris's video.
I just gotta get it again. You would think it was a reflection off a cloud or something like that, but it's not. Because the clouds are moving pretty swiftly, and that is staying still.
Okay, so you heard Chris say that this is a second sun or Nibiru because it doesn't move around when he moves his camera. It stays still relative to the position of the sun. There are a lot of these videos around, and there is a very simple test which will show very quickly whether these second sun objects are real or not. And I'm going to show you a quick selection of the best videos that I've seen so far. So here is the first one. This is a video by tatooinetrooper, and it was uploaded on the 30th of April 2011, so it's been around for a little while. Now, tatooinetrooper had originally filmed one of these videos himself and was convinced that he had filmed the second sun or Nibiru or whatever. And somebody had suggested this test to him, and to his credit, he went out and gave it a try, and he shows us the results.
Okay, this is a test